not watch this video at night. Back in 2015, a man was taking care of his friend's uncle who had dementia. On the first night, he made dinner and called him over to eat, but he didn't hear him say anything. He went to his room to check on him, but the door was locked. He said dinner's ready, but his response was a grunt. He didn't think anything of it, so he walked upstairs to go and sleep in the guest room. On the second night, he made dinner again, so he went to get his friend's uncle. He walked to his room, but this time the door was wide open and he wasn't inside. He didn't really think anything of it, so he just walked upstairs to go to sleep. He turned the lights off, got into bed, and that's when he heard a noise coming from the closet. He quickly stood up, and that's when he screamed in horror. Like for part 2.
The Jameson family is unlike anything you have heard. So this family right here, the Jameson family with the 2 parents and their 6-year-old daughter, for an unknown reason, they just packed their truck in 2009 and they had these plans to live in a storage unit, like on a plot of land. We would end up getting this security camera footage that was retained from their home, where they packed the truck and they did so completely silent, like they were in a trance or something. So the family does go missing after this day, but their truck is found abandoned and locked. It was really eerie because inside of this truck there was like 32 grand, all of their belongings, and their family dog was still in the truck alive. They end up finding the father's cell phone, and that's when they find something really disturbing. There's a picture of his 6-year-old daughter on the day they left, and she's just standing completely alone in the woods, just screaming, and nobody knows why he took this picture. 4 years later, all 3 bodies were found 3 miles away in the woods, and no one knows what happened to them or why they left.
I didn't ever want freedom. Frankly, I wanted death for myself. This was a case to tell the world that I did what I did not for reasons of hate. I hated no one. I knew I was sick or evil or both. Now I believe I was sick. I should have stayed with God. I tried and failed and created a Holocaust. And if I could give my life right now to bring their loved ones back, I would do it. I am so very sorry. I deserve whatever I get because of what I have done.
Legend or lie number 31, the white string. A girl in Japan wanted to get her ears pierced for her birthday, and although her parents disapproved, she pled and begged until they finally relented and gave her the money for it. But once the girl got the approval and the money, she decided rather than to pay somebody to pierce her ears, she could just have her friend do it and pocket the cash. So later that day, her friend heated a needle and popped it through her lobe, and immediately she knew something was wrong. She couldn't really describe it, but it was like a fuzzy feeling in her head. But she didn't really care, she just ignored it and went to spend the money her parents gave her at the mall. But the next day in class, her ear started burning, so she reached up and felt something poking out. She pulled and pulled and pulled until she saw this long white string coming out. And she was a little disturbed, but she just kept pulling and pulling, and it just kept coming and coming. She ran out of class and rushed to the bathroom, holding this long white string that she didn't know what to do with. And when she was in the stall, she decided it had to go. And she reached into her bag and got a pair of scissors and cut the string. Immediately, everything went dark. She started screaming so loud that the whole school came rushing to her aid. And when the teachers realized what was going on, they notified her parents and rushed her to the hospital. When she was examined, the doctor came out to talk to the parents, and he was stunned. He told them that somehow she had pulled out her optic nerve, and now that it was snipped, there was nothing he could do. She would be blind forever. But what do you think about this tragic tale? Is it true? Or are we all being strung along?
In this game, you're trapped in an endless furniture store as you try to survive against a mutated staff that attack at night. The Store is Closed is a co-op survival game where players must work together to find their way out of the store alive. It kind of sounds like my last trip to IKEA, and I think that's really what they're going for in this game. At the end of the day, when the store closes and the lights go out, the employees get far, far more dangerous. So you'll have to hide and survive with your friends all night until the store reopens in the morning. And the longer you survive, the more dangerous the staff members will become, and managers in this game are kind of like the boss fights. You'll also be able to smash and salvage just about everything in this game, so you can turn it into your home base to be used as protection. Your character will also need to eat, so you can salvage some food from the cafe in the store. The game's crafting system also looks pretty good, and there's even some skill progression elements to help you survive. There's no release date as of yet for The Store is Closed, but when it does come out, it'll be releasing on PC, Xbox, and PlayStation consoles. So be sure to share this with your squad who you want to play this with.
This is the UK's most famous missing boy. In September 2007, Andrew Gosden was just 14 years old. He was a very intelligent boy and was top of his class in most classes at school. He was an introvert that usually spent most of his time at home. The day before Andrew went missing seemed completely normal. He went to school, he had some tea, and then he watched some TV. However, on September the 14th, he seemed more irritable than normal. Instead of getting the bus to school that morning like his parents thought he was, he went to a cash point and withdrew £200. CCTV then captures him walking home, where he changed his clothes into a Slipknot t-shirt. When he left the house, he didn't take his charger with him, and he also didn't take £100 that he'd saved up. He didn't take his passport, but he did take his house key, which indicates he was going to come home. He bought a one-way ticket to London and was last seen leaving King's Cross Station at about 11:30. Frustratingly, the school had actually tried to contact Andrew's parents to say that he hadn't turned up to school that day, but they dialed the wrong number and left an answer phone message on the wrong phone. His family was completely cleared of any suspicion, and the family and the school and all of the students went to London and they were handing out loads of flyers. Weirdly, a year after this incident, a man came to a police station to say that he had information about Andrew. Now, the police station was unmanned, so the person spoke to this man just over an intercom system and sent a police officer down there. Mysteriously, by the time the police officer arrived, the person had vanished. This is what Andrew might look like now, just being the age that he may be if he's still alive. Theories about this case is that he may have gone to London to meet up with someone or go to a concert. Was he lured there by somebody with bad intentions, or was he just going there for the day, gonna come back, and was at the wrong place at the wrong time and somebody did something bad to him? In 2009, the family paid for a search of the River Thames to try and find some sort of closure. The search did find a body, but it wasn't Andrew's. The most up-to-date information that we have on this case is that 2 men were arrested on suspicion of kidnapping Andrew, but they've actually been released.
Bodies here.
By 11 a.m., police give the first indications that there are multiple fatalities inside. By 11:50 a.m., they announce most of the fatalities are children. It is almost unimaginable. 27 dead, 20 children.